Hey everybody, good morning. This is First Warn, Storm Team Chief Meteorologist Brad Panovich. Got to talk about this storm system heading our way today. Kind of an interesting setup as this larger system moves in from the west. Not that we're going to see a lot of strong storms with it, but it's a pretty potent little storm. And what's interesting is once the storm moves past us, it's going to crank up on the coast and become a very significant nor'easter. Now, temperatures today, actually not too bad. We're generally in the 40s and 50s. I'll pause this right here and I'll show you some of the temperatures across the region. You can see a lot of 40s and 50s showing up. A little bit warmer near the coast, and that's the area we are concerned with the possibility of some severe storms later today. I'm going to show you real quickly the severe weather risk here as we go into the afternoon hours. I don't know why it's not filling in here, but you can see we basically have a low to medium risk for severe storms here on the coast. So this actually should all be yellow. And then you see this little area near the coast in the medium threat. So there is the potential as this system pushes off to the east, we could see some strong storms develop. So let me show you how this unfolds. All right, let's go right to our futurecast. So a couple things just to point out here. I've got future radar, and I've also got the sea level pressure just to show you how this low pressure cranks up on the coast. So we're going to go through time. And again, remember the time is up here in the upper left-hand corner. We're going to stop this right around, I'd say 2 to 3 this afternoon. We start to see some showers moving in. Again, light rain. It'll just continue to build up. But the heaviest stuff is primarily going to be this evening. So after dark is going to be our highest chance of rain. And you can see a pretty little nasty little line that moves through here. Certainly looks like some heavy rain around 9 o'clock tonight. Maybe even a rumble of thunder. Certainly a possibility. But notice as the low begins to close off, we call it, you start seeing these isobars, which are these equal lines of pressure, starting to look like a bullseye. That's a sign that the storm is getting stronger. So it's actually getting stronger as it moves towards the coast. And for that reason, we're going to see strong southerly winds ahead of this and strong winds here. There is that potential for severe weather along the coast. So something to keep an eye on. Also very strong winds. As these things tighten up, they tend to produce some strong wind. You notice in the mountains, this is where we're going to see a change over to snow tonight. So it's going to start as rain, but then as we go through time, you could see it changing to snow in the mountains. And then look at this thing become a monster nor'easter as it moves up the coast. So that's why I think the northwest flow around this thing is actually going to be pretty good for some snow in the mountains and foothills, because we're going to see that flow on the back side of this thing really help produce some snow, especially up in West Virginia and Virginia, where this thing, you can see it cranking up. I mean, look at that. That's your good old-fashioned nor'easter for the Northeast. A big storm up there, blizzard-like conditions possible in parts of New England. But you can see, I'm going to actually remove the pressure here for a second. Let me go back to, I'm going to add this back up real quick just so we can see it. We'll go back a couple frames here. It should be loading still. Let me give it a second to load, and then we'll throw it back up there and show you that northwest flow. You can see it right there. I mean, the winds are going to be pretty potent on the back side of this. I'll loop this a couple of times. So yeah, we are going to see a quick shot of snow, and then you see our next system showing up as we go into next week. So this is going into Monday. So we've got another system coming in with potentially some more rain. But again, this weekend, you know, it's mainly going to be dry as this system moves through by early on Saturday. But there's your snow on the backside. You can see the strong winds right out of the northwest, and that snow will move out pretty quickly. Let's briefly talk about those wind speeds, because I do think along the coast we could see some wind gusts around 45, 50 miles per hour, especially the Outer Banks. You could see some of these gusts out here showing up around 40 or 50 miles per hour. And again, this is also the same area we could see some severe weather. So potentially some damaging winds, maybe even an isolated tornado. And let me quickly show you some of those severe weather parameters. So let's start with the wind gust here. And again, what you're looking at here are wind speeds. This is going into tonight. So look at some of these wind speeds on the coast. I mean, I'm going to quickly put some wind speeds. And again, these are gusts, by the way. We're not looking at sustained winds this strong, but certainly some really strong gusts. You get into the reds there, and you can see some of these gusts, you know, around 45, 50 miles per hour. Let's go through time here, and I'll put some new ones on here. This is right around 2 o'clock in the morning. So let's probe these really quick. And again, I mean, hopefully these don't work their way down the surface, but kind of showed you that some of these thunderstorms that develop tonight, especially for the Outer Banks and eastern North Carolina, could have some wind gusts that'll be severe, which is above, 58 miles per hour, but certainly a potent system. And then watch what happens as this thing goes through time. And, that's your classic nor'easter there, cranking up the coast and then going up into the northeast. So let's go back and look at that severe weather parameter just real quickly. So here's a quick look at the significant tornado parameter. And you can see we'll go through time, and I'm going to go through tonight. And I'm going to stop this about 2 in the morning. Let's stop it right about 1 to 2 in the morning. You could see that area that we talked about with a risk for severe storms. It's not huge, 1, 1.5, maybe 2. But you could see as that line moves through tonight, early tomorrow morning, we're talking 2, 3, 4, 5 in the morning, there could be some strong to severe storms embedded in that line. So this is going to be a pretty significant nor'easter once it gets past us. I mean, if this thing had cranked up a little bit sooner, we would have had potentially some really strong winds as well here. But right now, it looks like just a big rainmaker for most of us, except for eastern North Carolina. That's the one area where I would be a little bit concerned with the potential that we're going to see some severe weather. And again, the area we're concerned about right now, and I'll show you real quickly. I'm going to go way out here and pop these back on. Right there is our area of concern for severe weather. Back here, just some rain and wind, and then some mountain snow on the backside. Of course, I'll post any watches or warnings if we get any, but in eastern North Carolina, might want to keep the phone charged up tonight just in case you get some warnings in the middle of the night. And everybody should see some pretty strong winds, so make sure you have everything tied down tonight as the system moves through. Have a great Friday, everybody.